Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today talking OBJ and the Cleveland Browns. Tomorrow is the day we will finally see OBJ back on the field. If I'm not mistaken, October 25th of last year, so 11 months from today, was the last time OBJ has played in a game, ACL injury. The Browns have certainly missed him. So today I'm going to be reacting to the return of OBJ Sunday against the Bears. Before we get into the video, question of the day, throw out your yards receiving prediction for OBJ down below in the comments. You think he's good for 2 catches and 12 yards in his return, or is he going to have a big 6-catch, 85-yard day? Comment down below what you think. You'll hear my opinion throughout the video or at the end of the video. And one more thing before we get into it, heading on over to Thrive Fantasy for you Browns fans. Your top props for the Browns this week, you got Baker Mayfield, 239.5 yards, and Nick Chubb, 73.5. So take your picks, make some money on your guys there in Cleveland. And one more thing for you guys, your new users, sign up using our code 2MW, all caps. Thrive Fantasy will match your initial deposit up to $250. So say you put in $50, they'll give you another $50. You'll have $100. And also here in the contest lobby, from now until Sunday, they will give you, for new users that sign up using our code, a free ticket into this contest, $50,000 prize pool, $20 entry fee. You will get a free ticket for you new users. So go ahead and check out thrivefantasy.com or Thrive Fantasy on the App Store. Let's get right into the video. One thing I want to point out about this matchup for you guys that are interested in the game itself, Andy Dalton listed here as the starter. That is not the case. Justin Fields will be getting his first start this Sunday. I think that's going to be big, but that's besides the point. OBJ is back. I think that I don't know if it's been like totally set in stone that he will be playing on Sunday, but he's not listed on the final injury report for the Browns, which basically means he'll be active on Sunday. So I guess it's not 1,000% guaranteed, but as far as it looks, OBJ will be playing for the Browns. What does this mean? Right now the Browns are 1-1. They lost a tough game to Cleveland. Lost a tough game to Kansas City in Kansas City week 1. They come out on top of Houston in week 2. But I think throwing OBJ back into the mix, giving Baker another target is going to be huge. Right now, who's he been throwing the ball to? He's been using Austin Hooper a lot through 2 weeks, especially against Houston. He used Hooper a lot. Anthony Schwartz, the rookie, showed some promise, had a good week 1. Week 2 was actually looking pretty good. But if you guys watched the Houston Cleveland game, he actually cost Baker an interception on a post over the middle. I don't know, that's kind of beside the point. But Anthony Schwartz, rookie, looking pretty good. But Baker hasn't thrown the ball to him since he cost him an interception. So maybe Baker doesn't like throwing the ball to him now anymore. Of course, Rashard Higgins, who has been a Brown his whole career, hasn't been used a whole lot. He only played 2 snaps against Kansas City, but he always seems to be there for Baker. So I'd expect Rashard Higgins to get more targets this week against Chicago, especially now. And this is the biggest thing about the Browns receiving core is that Jarvis Landry out a minimum of 3 weeks, MCL tear. So I think it's, while unfortunate, 100% for Jarvis Landry. Good timing for OBJ to come back in the week that Jarvis gets hurt, because in Kansas City he scored, he had a touchdown, and he got hurt first quarter of the Houston game, so he didn't have much time to do anything there. But he filled his role in week 1, scored for the Browns against Kansas City. So Jarvis Landry is going to be leaving a big hole behind. It's going to be up to Higgins and OBJ to fill that gap. Also, Donovan Peoples-Jones having a pretty good year for Cleveland. I think he played like 75% of the snaps against Kansas City, but only had a handful of receiving yards. And against Houston, also had a pretty good presence. So those are the main guys that Baker's been targeting. You throw OBJ back in the mix, and that really, for right now, it makes up for the fact that they're going to be missing Jarvis Landry. Now this is all dependent on whether or not OBJ is going to be good. And like I said, it's been almost a year since he's played football. Can we just assume that OBJ is going to come right back into the mix and be able to be the number 1 guy like he was a year ago? You just can't expect that of him. At least I don't expect that of him. I expect him to, in all honesty, this is kind of back to the question today, I don't think OBJ is going to have more than 5 or 6 catches against Chicago and 85 yards. This is not going to happen. In my opinion, I think he's good for 3-4 catches, 30 to 40 yards max, because like I said, you can't just throw a guy right back into the mix. Say, look, you're my number 1 guy. I'm going to throw the ball to you 9 times today, and you better have 100 yards receiving. But you, hold on, haven't played in a year. So you can't expect that from OBJ. Now, it is impossible. Absolutely not. OBJ is obviously a very talented receiver, and there's this much hype around his return. because of the fact that this is very possible that he does come out and have a huge day. But let me point out on the screen here, you look at Baker Mayfield's stats, 1 touchdown through the air, 2 interceptions. This team is not a team that obviously wins games through the air. I stress this every time I talk about the Browns, that in the situation where Baker's going to have to throw the ball deep every play because they're playing from behind is the Browns' weakness. The Browns really, really struggle to play from behind because they have to throw the ball more, and Baker is turnover prone. Turned the ball over against Houston twice and against Kansas City once to put the game away. So first things first, this Browns team is a run-first team, which is the main reason why, or at least one of the main reasons why we may not see a huge presence of OBJ if he makes his return tomorrow, which I do think he will. Because they got Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, those are the workhorses of that offense, and Baker Mayfield is just kind of the guy to control the offense and make a key throw when he needs to. So don't expect, another reason not to expect OBJ to have 100 yards tomorrow. If you're thinking about starting him on your fantasy team or putting some money on him, I probably wouldn't because, like I said, there's just a whole lot of skepticism about whether or not he's going to have a good return. And in all honesty, if he comes out, plays 4 snaps, gets 1 catch and 12 yards, that's a success in my eyes just to have him back on the field and have him back working into that Browns offense, because in the long run, he can definitely have a huge presence. But I want to go back to talk about Rashard Higgins. This is a guy that I think Stefanski needs to use a lot more. If you look at that game last year in the playoffs, Kansas City and Cleveland and Kansas City, the Browns fell just short, but Rashard Higgins was the leading receiver. He had like 8 catches and 90 yards. So that's just an example of why I think he needs to be used. Like I said, they used him only 2 snaps against Kansas City, and they used him minimally against Houston. But throughout his whole career, he's been in Brown. He's always been there when Baker needs him, and him and Baker have a good connection. So Rashard Higgins needs to be used more than he has been, and I think Baker needs to keep using Austin Hooper, because Austin Hooper's been picking up a lot of 3rd and long first downs for the Cleveland Browns. At least he did against Houston. All in all, OBJ is going to be back. I think this is going to be big. To kind of contradict to what I said earlier about don't expect OBJ to get used a whole lot because of these other receivers that Baker has. Because Jarvis is hurt, that's definitely going to make OBJ a more likely target. So it not quite cancels out. I still don't think OBJ is going to get a lot of targets, but it's definitely going to be big for the Browns to give Baker another target, give Baker one of his favorite targets back against a Chicago team that, while they have a rookie quarterback getting his first start, does have a pretty good defense. So I think Baker's going to need all the targets he can get. But all in all, it doesn't change the Browns. They're still a run-first team, and that's going to be the way they win games. But if Baker gets OBJ back and he's healthy, giving him that target is definitely going to help this Browns team out. So that's really all for the video. OBJ's back. Comment down below what you think about his return. And back to the question today, my theoretical stat line for OBJ. Let's say I'm going to say he catches 3 passes for 28 yards. I don't have a whole lot I don't think he's going to have a huge day, but even a 3-catch, 28-yard day like I predict is going to be pretty big for the Browns and OBJ. Guys, thanks for watching. 2-minute warning. Remember to check out Thrive Fantasy before game day this week.